Oh my God. You are one silly man, I tell you.
Open it up. Yeah, read it.
What is this?
What's good, YouTube friends and family? Thanks so much for everyone who's tuning in. Shout out to all of you wonderful new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new to the channel or you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, so when I get to running this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. Without further ado, first thing I want to say, everybody please watch the entire video, give it a big thumbs up and help the channel to grow. Everyone knows this video by now. It's doing the rounds on social media. I get why people say there's potentially a risk of it being a hoax. When I watch the video again and again, the more I watch it, I do feel like this video could be staged. But for the sake of discussion, we're going to take it at face value. So, man reveals that he knows his 3-year-old is not his. Let's get right into it and I give you my commentary.
I'm recording you.
I see that. Did you put her to sleep?
Yeah, I did.
You did good. She had such a great birthday.
She did.
You're such a great dad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not done passing out gifts either.
A gift for me? Vernon, you didn't have to do that. It's not my birthday.
Such a great mom.
Oh, thank you.
I
Oh,
had to.
it's heavy. Ooh, I'm excited.
You're gonna love it.
What is it?
Open it up.
Oh my God, you are such a
Okay, so the way that she talks to him, there doesn't seem to be a lot of affection there. The way she says, "You're a great dad," I was just like, could it have been any less authentic? And then when he hands her the gift, she's like, ooh, but even that doesn't seem like she's that thrilled to get a gift from him. You know, I don't know if it's because she knows, like, in theory, if this is true, what she did, but it just seems like she doesn't really seem to appreciate anything that he does. It's just like blase blah. So the way she said she's got such a great dad, I mean, is that something people normally say? But okay, let's continue.
amazing man, I tell you.
Open it up, baby.
It's a Valentine's Day all over again. Oh my God. Ooh, it's that kind of night, ain't it? My favorite wine?
You're gonna love it. It goes with the gift.
Ooh, Pinot Noir. Mwah. I can't wait to sip on this. Thank you, babe.
If this is real, the way that she unwraps the gift, the way she just casually takes everything out and flings it, it's kind of very immature. And it's also kind of like this childish anticipation. Like, I don't even care that I'm making a huge mess. She could be being overly dramatic because she sees the camera and she assumes maybe this could end up online somewhere. But even the way she took out the paper, it wasn't so much like genuine excitement, but more like entitlement. At the end of the day, this is a personally wrapped gift. And one thing I didn't like about the way that she removed the stuffing from the bag was actually the fact that she didn't comment on the effort he made to make the presentation attractive. Again, if somebody is giving you a gift when you're not even doing anything really to deserve it, it's not even a special occasion, even the fact that they bothered to stuff it with some pretty paper, you could appreciate that. So when she unwrapped the gift, the fact that she didn't take the time to appreciate how he presented it, although it's not a real gift, but she doesn't allegedly know that, I still didn't like that. And you're going to see how entitled, if this is true, she actually really is. Let's continue.
Oh, here we go, here we go. I'm excited. It better be the necklace I wanted. You know I've been wanting that for a long time. Another bag. You're so tricky, I tell you. Babe, really? Another bag? I can't with you and your foolishness. Oh my God. You are one silly man, I tell you.
Open it up.
Okay, so she starts off by saying it better be. When a sentence starts with it better be, you know that you have a problematic person on your hands. Okay, this is a person who's used to making demands, telling you what they want, and it's kind of like when I say jump, you say how high. So there's no respect here whatsoever. But what really gives away the disrespect is two things. The way she describes the man as she clearly becomes frustrated. Now again, we don't know how genuine this article is, but when she becomes annoyed, she calls him silly. She says, I can't take you and your foolishness. And before that, she calls him tricky, which is quite ironic when you think about what's coming down the pipe. But again, the fact that she had the courage to call him these names, it's a reflection of what's truly in her heart. Now again, we don't know if this is a genuine recording, if this is a real situation with these two people. We know that this is a reality. There is a significant number of people who are men out here raising children that they are unaware are not their biological
Oh
kids.
my God, what is this? Oh man, duct tape, really?
They ran out.
This is such an amazing
They
rapper.
ran out. Sorry.
An envelope? What could this be? What could this be? It's not shaking. It's not my necklace, I don't think.
Okay, so we see the temper coming out now. She has her high expectation, and when it appears that he doesn't come through with that expectation, now she's giving him a little bit of attitude. So if this is a genuine situation with these two people, can you imagine what it must be like on a day-to-day basis trying to satisfy this woman? She was just 5 seconds ago washing the dishes, talking about how much he's a great father, and now she's getting frustrated because although it's not her birthday, it's not an anniversary, it's not Valentine's Day, and there's no real reason for him to be giving her anything at all. When it's not what she thought it should be, you can hear the change in the tone of voice. Again, we're talking about that low-key disrespect, that contempt that black women often have for their men, where they think it's totally acceptable to talk to them anyhow. Okay, let's carry on.
Ooh, it feels kind of thick. Okay, hold on. It may be. Hey, this better be. I take it to Dubai for 2 weeks straight, round trip. Because you know I've been wanting to go to Dubai.
Open it up. Yeah, read it.
What is this?
You know what it is? I just want you to know that I know. Nevaeh is not mine. She's not my daughter.
Why did you do this tonight out of all nights?
Okay, so her first response when she opens the paternity test and realizes that the game is up, the first thing that comes in her mind is, why did you do this tonight of all nights? I mean, what night is a good night to tell your woman, I know that you had an affair or you slept with someone else, and for the last 3 years you've been passing off this child as mine when it's not mine? Please tell me the date in the calendar when that's the perfect night. I mean, it's like Independence Day. Here in the UK we've got, bonfire night, you've got Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and then you've got, let me just reveal that you're not the father. Is that what, Maury Day? What the hell? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Like, why did you cheat? Is the question you should really be asking. Anyway, let's continue.
Because I wanted you to know that I know Nevaeh is not mine. I've had doubts. So I
What
went to that
doubts?
DNA test. Nevaeh is not mine. She's not my daughter.
Why would you do this?
Okay, so again, she's then protesting, why would you do this? The man has suspicions that the child is not his. And unfortunately, this is not the good old days where you could just lie and people just sweep things under the rug. People are getting tired of the rug. The rug can no longer be walked on. There's so much stuff buried underneath it. If this man suspects that this child is not his, he's heard enough, he's seen enough, he knows how damaging it is, how painful it is to become invested and committed to a child that years down the line you find out is not your child. So why would he not do a test if he has doubts? You know, it just doesn't make sense to ask this question. I understand why she asked it. It's because in the world of the woman, where the woman can do no wrong, in her mind somehow she's always the victim. And so to her, for him to have the doubts and go behind her back and get this paternity test, she now feels like he betrayed her trust. But at the end of the day, she'd already betrayed his trust, because not only did she sleep with another man, she then for the last 3 years has been passing off a child that's not this man as his own. And if he hadn't have acted upon his doubt, she would have been very willing to take that deception into adulthood. And it's so funny actually, because I watched a video recently. I don't even know what this video was. I'd have to go back. And it was a talk show. And they were talking about this whole concept of paternity. The man is in his like 30s, and he said, oh yeah, and you know, in the course of the conversation between him and the other presenter, and my mother told me, oh, that man over there that died, that's not your father. And then, you know, she just casually turned around, the mother casually turned around and just carried on eating and watching her show. So you let this man go into his 30s believing that he and his siblings had the same father. And when you actually reveal this is not his father, you're not even apologetic about the fact that you've lied to him his whole life and, you know, about his identity. And as much as I kind of laugh because I'm not sure if this is a real situation for a lot of men. They find out years down the line that the child or the children that they've been raising, and if you think that this is bad, there was an article years ago of a woman who had 3 children by another man or other men. And the only reason why it came out that the children were not his is because the man had a medical condition. And when he went to the doctor said, you have been sterile for years, which automatically meant that not 1, not 2, but 3. All 3 of his kids that he has raised and given this woman a nice life, middle class life, every single ounce of his life for the last how many years was a complete and utter lie. So, and again, this is not a thing where the man knew he was infertile and they wanted children, so she did what she had to do to have children, to raise as his because he couldn't have any of his own. The man only found out the children were not his because when he went to the doctor about a different medical condition, it was revealed that it wasn't possible for him to be the father of these children. So this woman did not know her man was infertile either. And even if she suspected he was infertile, she took it upon herself to go and get pregnant by somebody else or do something to get pregnant and then willingly pass off not 1, not 2, but 3 children to her husband, as if to say they were his biological kids. So whether this is a real situation, a real recording or not, it does happen.
She loves you though. Why would you do this?
She's not my daughter. Why would you do this? Why would you cheat?
I didn't cheat.
Why would you cheat on me?
I didn't.
That's proof right there. DNA test.
And although that was a half-baked one, there was the confession. The fact that she has not refuted the results on the paper, the only thing she could say is, but she loves you, means yes, she's not your biological daughter, but she loves you. Okay? So, again, this woman at no point is taking accountability for her actions. She's in no way even remorseful. She's more upset about the fact that the man decided to confront her and kind of pull the rug out from her, you know, from underneath her on this child's birthday, than the fact that she has lied. She hasn't even broken it down as to how or why. And I get it. If this is real, this is shock. You know, you never thought this day would come where he would realize the child is not his. You have had a good day. You had a party. Every day that passes, you're thinking there's another day I've gotten away with it. And then the way he set it up, obviously, it's like, he really built you up just to kind of knock you down. So I can understand why she would be in a state of shock, but at no point has she actually come out and said, this is what happened, this is why I did it, I'm sorry. All she can say is, but she loves you. But that's irrelevant, because at the end of the day, it's still not his child, and it's still something that you lied about for 3 years. Not only is there the betrayal in the affair or the adultery or whatever happened that caused you to become pregnant by another man, it's also the ongoing deception, which is heartbreaking for him.
Nevaeh is not my daughter.
Oh, babe, really? Out of all days, you had 3 years to give this to me. Now you want to give this to me?
All right, listen. You and Nevaeh got to the end of the month to get out of my house.
You're kidding, right?
I'm not kidding.
But
You
that's your
and
daughter.
your daughter had to the end of the month to get out of my house.
But that's
Kelly.
your daughter.
It's not my daughter, Kelly.
Yes, it is.
The paperwork says it's not my daughter.
Why would you do this?
I am not the father.
No. Stop, babe. Can we just talk? Get the camera out my face. Can we just talk? Get it out.
And I say this to people all the time. I get into these kind of debates with women on social media. They get annoyed when I say, sexual reproduction is not a 50-50 task, because you as the woman have reproductive rights more than the men. You have more rights and you have more control. And this is why there's a show called Paternity Court and not Maternity Court, because a man is going to find it very hard to find a woman that he can pretend he got pregnant. But it's very easy for a woman to become pregnant by another man and then just try to pass that child off. And most men wouldn't have the courage, if they suspected the child was not theirs, to actually go and investigate further. Now, this is why some of the brothers are saying they want to make paternity testing mandatory. Not only is it extremely painful for a man to suspect his whole life that the child that he's raising is not his. You can imagine the pressure and the distrust that puts on a relationship. But there's also the added issue of the child doesn't know their true identity. They could be walking past siblings in the street. They could be walking past their biological father in the street. And there's a whole collapse of identity that comes with finding out years down the road that the person who you thought was your father is not your father. And because of that, more and more men are even asking for paternity testing to be mandatory, because at the end of the day, there is no guarantee. Now, of course, people are doing things backwards. As I said earlier, there was a woman who was married. She had 3 children within her marriage, and all 3 children were not her husband's kids. So getting married is not the be-all and end-all solution, but definitely it's supposed to be a safety net. It's supposed to be that if you enter into marriage the right way, you're entering it doing your homework on that person. And so it's going to decrease the chances of you getting into certain situations. Now, it's unfortunate that the husband couldn't produce kids, but that didn't give her the right to go and do what she did. And like I said, I personally don't feel that the lady who had the 3 children, she had those kids because she knew her husband was impotent. I believe that she was having an affair, and she just thought, well, I got away passing off the first child and I want more kids, so let's just keep going. And as I've said before in previous videos, Bible doesn't lie and human nature doesn't change. When David had, relations with Bathsheba and she got pregnant for David, she tried the same thing. She tried to pass off David's baby as Uriah. And when Uriah refused to sleep with his wife because he wanted to go into battle and he didn't want to, let his men go into fighting and he's enjoying with his wife, when that plan failed, David arranged to have him killed. So this concept of paternity fraud is not new, and it's devastating, because at the end of the day, the longer it goes on, the more destructive and deceptive it is. And as I said, she's in shock. She's asked for him to stop filming, but at no point did she just concede. She still tried to hold on to the idea that she can just bluff her way through this. Like, this is not happening. I'm just going to deny it. If I just continue in denial, we can just plow past this. And he was like, no. The last thing I want to say is, if this is really true, I really respect what he did. Now, we're going to go through some of the comments. I've heard that some of the comments are really, they're focusing a lot on the impact this could have on the daughter and how hurt the lady is. But I really respect him for saying, I want you and your daughter out. A lot of men, they would have tolerated this behavior, and this behavior would have continued and it would have escalated. As I said at the beginning of the video, this lady has disrespect for this guy. She has contempt for him. So despite the fact that he allegedly has been doing all of the good things, he's been a good dad, and she knows that this child potentially is not his, or in fact knows for a fact the child is not his, she still doesn't even humble herself and have respect for him, knowing that at any moment this could all come out. But I really respect the fact that he had the guts to say, I'm really sorry, I really care about you, but you have to go. That's the right approach. This is a man who has self-respect. He has a degree of common sense, because he understands that this behavior is not going to get any better. If she can lie for 3 years about the identity of this child's father, what else could she be lying about? And as much as it's painful because he's invested in that child, it's not his kid. And let's get into some of the comments. So most of the comments were just talking about how fake the video was. They recognized the guy as an actor, and this is not a real situation. So that's fine. But having said that, as I've shown examples, I've given you a couple now of incidences where this actually has happened. Even some of the people in the comment section under the video on WorldStar, they actually themselves have stories to tell of people to whom this has happened. And one of the very telling things was some of the people who really felt that this was real, they were like, oh, why did he have to bring it up on this day, or he could have handled it a different way? I'll be honest with you, most of the comments were from men who were angry because they understood that that could be them. If they got into a situation with the wrong woman, this could happen to them. So the vast majority of the comments that weren't critical of the video being fake were men who were just angry at the idea that the legal system does not protect them from things like this. There weren't that many women who were commenting unless they had, you know, ambiguous names and avatars, because it just seemed to be mostly men commenting. And there was only one comment that I was able to find that was clearly definitively from a woman who was critical. Now that could be because most of the women who watched the video also thought that this was fake, so I skimmed through all the comments that were criticizing the quality of the video. But there was one where the person actually believed this was genuine. They were female and they were against it. And that also speaks volumes to the concept of the sisterhood of failure, where women do not hold other women accountable. Even if these women wanted to say, there were a number of people who said, I know this video is fake, but, and then they started to tell real stories that they knew from their personal experience. But I didn't see what appeared to be any or that many women who actually came out and challenged this idea of women committing paternity fraud. There was only one video or one comment where the lady was actually actively going against this idea of saying you cannot lie to people and pretend that these people are children's parents when they're not the real parents. So again, when we look at why women are unmarriable, why women are struggling to settle down, why we have the culture that we have today, it always goes back to things like older women not having the right standards and holding younger women accountable. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching the whole video. Hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Has this happened to you? Do you know somebody who's been a victim of paternity fraud? Were you the one who was raised believing that somebody was your father and it turns out years later that they were not actually your father? What would you do in this situation? Like, share and subscribe. Share this video with someone who needs to see it, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.